The ROH Pure title is on the line. Samoa Joe set to defend against Nigel McGuiness. Pure title rules. Competitors are allowed 3 rope breaks to break up a pinfall or submission attempt. After he uses his 3 rope breaks, the ropes are in play for his opponent. There are no closed fists permitted. If you are caught using a closed fist, the referee will issue a warning. If you use a second closed fist, it will cost you a rope break. If you're out of rope breaks, you will be disqualified. There's a 20 count on the floor, and the Pure title can change hands on a countout or a disqualification.
Samoa Joe and Nigel McGuiness about to lock it up for a second time. McGuiness with a side headlock. Nigel coming off that big feud with Colt Cabana. Cabana with the victory in our last show a week ago in New Jersey. Night of the Grudges.
Cabana winning that matchup, selected a title shot at the ROH World title, which he will get later tonight. Nigel McGuiness awarded this matchup for the Pure title, despite losing that Soccer Riot match against Cabana last week, because of the great effort that Nigel has put forth in the past and his wins against Colt Cabana in the past. And Nigel McGuiness and Samoa Joe have had a very underrated series of matches here in ROH. That tag match at Weekend of Thunder Night 1, the matchup at It All Begins back in January, and the matchup at The Future Is Now in June. And we're going to see that rivalry renewed right here with the Pure title on the line. And in their past matches, Nigel has had his mouth or nose busted open at the hands of Samoa Joe in both of their singles matches.
Going to work on the arm of Samoa Joe here early, right in the center of the ring. Todd Sinclair checking the shoulders. Joe able to reverse it and grab the head scissors.
Samoa Joe earning the Pure title from his protege Jay Lethal back at Manhattan Mayhem during early May, and has really elevated the prestige of the Pure title, much like he did the World title during his illustrious reign as World Champion. Of course, Samoa Joe retaining the Pure title last week at Night of the Grudges 2 against Christopher Daniels. And the first matchup for the Pure title that was actually the main event of a Ring of Honor card.
Said Joe living up to his promise to elevate this title to heights it has not seen before. And he fires a kick hard to the side of Nigel McGuiness, who responds with one of his own. These guys kind of feeling each other out in the early going here. Greco-Roman knuckle lock, they hook it up right in the center of the ring.
Both men very powerful individuals. And also both very skilled at the submission style of wrestling. Hard kick to the chest of McGuiness from Samoa Joe. Nigel trying to shake it off.
Forced to go to the ropes. Try and get away from Joe. Momentarily catch his breath, it looked like. All the air driven out of the chest by Joe with that kick. And try and hook it up one more time.
Nigel kicks away one hand of the knuckle lock.
Top wrist lock turns it into a side headlock. Looks like he drove a fist right to the face there, Joe, behind the referee's back.
And sort of turned Samoa Joe so that...
Claiming it was an open hand, but Todd Sinclair taken out of position there by Nigel.
He turned Samoa Joe out of the line of sight of the referee before delivering that shot. Traps the head of Samoa Joe, brings him down to one knee.
Controlling the head of Joe after that back heel trip. He's got him right in the center of the ring. Joe trying to power his way out. Connects with a headbutt.
As Nigel a little bit stunned. And to the headlock goes Samoa Joe. Nigel trying to work his way out of it. Brings Joe down to one knee. Into the wrist lock goes McGuiness.
Again, using that foot right in the back of the knee of Joe to trip him down to one leg and negate that size advantage Joe has. Oh, he says he's grabbing the hair. Again, he gets the ref out of position and drives the fist.
I think he might be just trying to infuriate Samoa Joe right here and maybe bait him into using a closed fist himself to get that warning and put Samoa Joe at a disadvantage.
Has the cravat right in the center of the ring. Turns it into a side headlock.
Holding onto it in the center of the ring. Takes him down with the side headlock takeover. Keeping the head trapped. Referee checking Samoa Joe's shoulders.
We've seen Nigel more than bend the rules on more than one occasion. In his feud with Colt Cabana, we've seen the low blows, the shots with the iron. Here we are in a pure title match, and again the closed fist.
And again, he had turned Samoa Joe so that his back was to the referee, so he couldn't see. And there's Samoa Joe utilizing the closed fist, and that's a warning.
Nigel McGuiness suckered Joe into throwing a punch right in front of the referee. May have cost Nigel a tooth.
It's a good strategy on McGuinness's part, trying to put the champion at a disadvantage by baiting him into using those closed fists. He inverted atomic drop from Joe.
And a big boot! Turns McGuiness inside out. Fans rallying behind Joe.
Takes Nigel down with the snapmare, chop to the back, kick to the chest. Off the ropes he comes, then drops the knee.
Once again, driving all the air out of the chest of Nigel McGuiness. Cover here, only a 1 count.
Nigel gets that shoulder up off the canvas. Last time here in Williamsville, Samoa Joe defended the Pure Championship against James Gibson in a very memorable matchup. Gibson out of rope breaks, forced to tap out on that night.
Two big guys just trading shots right in the middle of the ring. Hard bolo uppercut from Joe. Staggers him through the ropes, right into a power slam.
Nigel able to get his shoulder up, and right to the cross arm breaker goes Joe, but Nigel put on the bottom rope, and that's a rope break.
And it's rope break number 1, charged to Nigel McGuiness.
Nigel felt the pain of that cross arm break and immediately went to the ropes, wisely.
Trying to save his arm. Another headbutt from Samoa Joe. Nigel dishes forearms out in return.
Gotta think it's a wise strategy this early in the match to give up a rope break quickly.
Going for the crossbody, and Samoa Joe just stepped out of the way.
Nobody home on the crossbody. Like I said, give up the rope break quickly. Senton across the back. Rather than struggle to break the hold to save the rope break. Cover. Only a 2 count.
Samoa Joe very slowly going to work. Very methodical wrestler. And hits very hard. He's got Nigel McGuiness set into the buckle. Samoa Joe comes charging, connects with the knee strike. And it's time for the face walk. Just breaking the bottom of the boot across the face of McGuiness. And he was going to come charging, but McGuiness saw that coming and rolled to the floor.
What's he doing? He's going under the apron. We've seen him grab that iron under there once or twice before.
Samoa Joe hits the ropes. He's got a chair. And Samoa Joe is going for the dive through the ropes. From underneath the ring, Nigel McGuiness decides to put a chair to use.
That did cost him a rope break, but what kind of damage did he do cracking that steel chair across the head of Samoa Joe? A calculated risk by Nigel McGuiness right there. Give up the rope break to do some serious damage with that steel chair. And that's exactly what he did. And he's now going to work on the arm of Samoa Joe, who may be knocked out from that chair. Look at the face of Samoa Joe. All sorts of pain, and he has to go to the ropes to force a break.
Yeah, like you said, a very calculated choice, a decision on the part of Nigel McGuiness to sacrifice that rope break for the sake of doing damage to the arm of Samoa Joe. We know that Nigel likes to put that arm submission to use. Also the Tower of London, draping his opponent's legs over the top rope in the corner and driving him down with an ace crusher, which also does damage to the arm as well.
Again, with that top wrist lock, takes him over.
Keeps that arm barred, putting pressure down on the shoulder.
He finds the legs as well and driving the forearm into the side of the face.
Come on, Joe.
Looking to wrench back against the grain, popping the shoulder in the wrong direction there while the legs take the wrist down in the opposite direction.
All strikes by Joe to the upper back and the neck region, trying to free himself from this position. Now elbows to the forehead of McGuiness. Finally breaks free of the hold.
You talk about McGuiness being busted open the first couple of times they wrestled. I believe I saw some blood coming from the mouth of Nigel a little bit ago. And these two again are just trading shots.
Well, with uppercuts like that, no wonder he's bleeding. Joe going for the power slam, but Nigel faked him out and goes right after the arm once again. Fujiwara armbar applied by McGuiness. Samoa Joe falling toward the ropes.
Ropes, Nigel, break it up. Break.
That is rope break number 2, charge to Samoa Joe.
Second rope break used by Samoa Joe. Nigel McGuiness trying to get Samoa Joe to use up all of his rope breaks so that the ropes cannot save him should Nigel get his arm in a submission predicament in the center of the ring or hell even near the ropes.
Firing a forearm shot to the back. Joe's in the corner. Nigel now just stalking Joe, follows him in. Has that arm draped over the top rope, just pulling on it. Breaks the hold at the count of 4.
Samoa Joe feeling the effects in the corner. Nigel staying right on that body part. Wrenching up on that arm.
Dragging right back to the center of the ring.
As the leg with the arm trapped in position.
Taunting him to use the ropes. Trying to get Joe to use that third break.
Come on, Joe.
Joe trying to fight the need to use that last rope break. And he rolls forward and counters. Didn't have to use it in that hole.
Kicked in the face and a right hand from Joe connects.
And Joe will be penalized his final rope break for using a closed fist.
Joe did not appreciate the kick to the face from Nigel and fired back with a right hand, costing him his final rope break.
Let his temper get the best of him and used the second closed fist. And referee Todd Sinclair called for that final rope break. The ropes are now in play for Nigel McGuiness. If he wants to cinch in a submission hold with Samoa Joe tied up in the ropes, has his arm trapped up in those ropes, it's perfectly legal.
Super kick from Nigel, staggers Joe to the corner. Runs in and he's caught and just planted by Joe.
See if Joe can capitalize here. Big offensive maneuver from the champion.
So Joe trying to shake some life back into that arm. It's kind of dangling at his side there. I don't know how much more he can do with that left arm. It has been punished by Nigel so far here.
McGuiness doing the headstand in the corner. Joe came charging, looking to go for the boot to the face. Nigel baited him into that position. He's in the ropes, but they're in play from Nigel McGuiness right here.
Nothing Joe can do to escape the hold. He has to find a way to counter it or he's going to have to give up because the ropes are in play for Nigel.
Wrenching up on that arm. Sinclair getting in there to see if Joe needs to give it up. Not encouraging Samoa Joe to hang in there. McGuiness changing it up. Still with the arm trapped in hammerlock position. Joe tosses him over top. Charges into the boot.
Nigel up and over. Headstand in the corner, and he's caught with a boot to the face.
This time Samoa Joe connects with the maneuver. Nigel couldn't work his way out of the headstand in time to save himself. Both men feeling the effects. Sinclair administering the double count.
Crowd starting to get behind the pure champ.
Back to his feet is Samoa Joe.
Look at that left arm. Obviously favoring it. It's just sitting at his side. He's unable to do anything with that arm as he just finds a series of slaps to the face of Nigel McGuiness. He's got him up top. He's going for the muscle buster.
Can he get it? Nigel wiggles his way out of that position.
I think the arm gave out.
Way on the arm is Nigel. Right upside the head with the kick from Samoa Joe.
Charging and misses the knee, does Joe. Nigel has Joe set up top. He might be going for the Tower of London here.
Oh, and he came down right on that arm.
This crowd is in shock as we have a new pure champion